Hi, welcome back to the channel. In this episode we're going to take a look at the National FM30. This is one that I worked on, can't even remember how long ago it was, but it was frickin' ages. So it needs a new pinch roller, and we've also got here the mystery metal post. So I had to go back and have a look at this video. Because it was so long, I just actually forgot what I was doing. Things get left around and you have to get back to them and piece it all back together. Thankfully I wrote things on the back of the unit, so it's really handy to do things like that. But so the last video explained that it was a pinch roll issue. Eject is still a little bit slow here opening up, so I'm going to have to get back in here and just check that roller again. So the knobs and dials, they're all off the unit at the moment. I think they're upstairs, so I'll have to grab those. So anyhow, let's revisit this FM30 and see what's going on. So here's a look at the pinch rollers that I got. Flash it up on the screen here what size these are. And here's all the knobs and the metal rod somewhere here. Uh-oh, no, where's the metal rod gone? And we're back, and I found it lying on the floor. So yeah, let's open it up. So 7 screws in the back, there's one in the battery compartment as well. Just turn this over here, I press the eject button as well, just to make sure it doesn't get stuck on there, so pretty easy to open up. Yeah, so in the last video I mentioned I was going to show you how to take the pinch roller off. So for this particular unit, it has like a little plastic clip here, and I'm just going to zoom in so you can see what's going on. So now's a good time to take a picture of this pinch roller section, because we're going to be pulling this pinch roller out, and it's nice to have a reference that, you know, when you put this all back together, you know it's back in the right way. So we're going to use a small screwdriver, something that's like a little flathead screwdriver, and want to pull this cap off. So you have this little plastic cap here, so we're just going to get it under here and just see if we can lever this off. So what you have are these 2 little clips here, which is as part of the circlip here, that actually fits into, there's a little cutout there, and that provides a little spring tension. So it's really hard to show this on camera, but what you'll need to do is push these 2 circlips downwards, and you should be able to lift the thing off. Now just be careful when you do that, because you might get the one that flew off, which is what happened to me just now. So I've got this silver spring here that's still connected. I've just put that back into position where it was before I took this off. I've just put the other spring clip here in the container. So if you have a look at this pinch roller, you can see it's really sort of glazed up, and I'll just scan back a bit. It's really worn. So in order to remove this, you've got a metal rod here in the middle. What we need to do is remove that metal rod. I'll show you how to do that. So for the next part, you probably need a vise, or if you've got something to elevate this up, this pinch roller shell. So it's handy to get a few extra small little screwdrivers, just cheap ones. You can file off the ends, so you get this really nice sort of pointed end here, which is great as more of a fine tool for punching. I'm just going to grab a hammer here and we'll punch this through. Just knock it through so you can get a little bit of a section here. And here's that little small set of pliers that nobody ever thinks they'll be used. Well, this is where it really comes in handy. I'm just going to use this to pull out the rod. And the reason why I'm doing pliers here and not actually banging it through anymore is because you want to be really careful with the shell, because what can happen is you can actually warp the shell, and you really don't want to do that. If you have a look at these 2 pinch rollers, you can see there is something different between them, and that's the hole. So you can see that hole on the left one here, which is the original one, is a little bit bigger. Just drill this hole out a little bit, just enough so that it can move freely on the post. I'm using a 2.5mm drill bit here, and that seems to be about right. So I'm going to drill that out and really worked it around to make it right. So I don't want to go up to a 3mm bit. By just moving it around a little bit, I was able to just get that exactly the right size. So it's probably a little bit closer, I'd say, to maybe 2.75 or something like that. So there we go, we've got our new assembled pinch roller. We can put that back on now, put the spring back on, and yeah, we can pretty much try that out. So there's a new pinch roller installed, and just got to put that little plastic piece back on top, close up at how it's supposed to go. So you can see on the pinch roller mechanism, those two clips are coming at, that silver one and the black one on the top. They go underneath that part there on the shell, and then they come through here and then through those two little forks. So I'm going to put in a tape here, and I'm just going to put the tape in here. That tape side of things is fixed up here. Now I've also noticed when I plugged in the headphone socket just before that it cut out one of the speakers, so I think that I've got a dirty connection there on that stereo out connect 3 kilohertz about, so that's fine. So I've used a little bit of this lubriplate here and just give it a little bit of lubrication, mainly just around the back here. I fixed the pause button not working. It was just a matter of getting this little white section here back locked into place. It actually had sort of popped out and come out sort of like that. So the mech on this unit is pretty good. There's not really any cleaning that needs to be done. So if you have a look at the tape door gear here, and this thing is just caked in sticky grease. So this needs to be cleaned. Other side section here that holds the door in place came off. So we're not made very good. I actually fixed up the other one last video, so I'm going to have to do the same thing to this one once I put the door in. And I'm just going to use the Loctite 401, secure it in place, and then I'm going to use some hot glue. So let's get some denatured alcohol on here and clean this up. What I really want to do is remove this actual whole unit and pull this out and clean all the inside. Okay, so that was pretty easy. I just had to sort of turn it outwards, remove this middle section, and you can see this is where the problem is in there. It's terrible. It's like jelly. So I'm going to give all this a clean. Okay, so that's looking a bit better now. It's turning a lot more freer. So I think that should be okay. I'll put this back in. Okay, and the other thing I want to fix too is that side piece that's come off here. So a little bit of Loctite 401 here, and just want to clean up this area down here as well. Just make sure that, because you really want that to be as clean as possible before you start gluing anything. So I'm just using 50% IPA here just to clean this off. So we might need some tweezers for this one. It's actually pretty small. So here's our repaired corner section here. If you're having trouble with the play button after you've changed the pinch roller, and that's because of those clips that you've put in, you may have bent them a little bit or something, so just get a screwdriver and just bend it up a little bit. I really want this to be nice and lubricated as well. So I've actually lubricated those little clips where it slides along that top part of the spring. Quick little tip there just in case you're having trouble with that play button. So the last thing to do was replace the belt. Don't think that I replaced it in the first video. So the actual belt itself was all pretty much worn. Although it wasn't broken, I'll just show you this. So the belt has actually gone very slippery. That's just because it's probably just worn, and it probably was slipping for a long time. So I'm going to throw this belt away. Some belts can be saved. Yeah, usually I just, but I'm going to throw this one away. So because I've replaced this belt, I'm going to do another quick test of the frequencies. If I need to make any adjustments, then I can put it all back together. That's perfect. All back to working order again. So we've got one 10mm folded belt on this one, and the new pinch rollers. So 13x6 by 2mm. So I'm just going to put a question out there to the person that commented in the first video. If you could show me a picture maybe of inside your unit and show me where this goes, because otherwise I really just don't have any idea. Pulled up a video of somebody that's opened up one of these FM30s and he pretty much goes through the whole inside of the unit. I couldn't see it in there as well, although it was only a 480p video, so it wasn't too good. But I'll put a link in I'll pin the link to the comments down below. I've 3D printed a little end piece here, so that works perfectly. Actually, there's one more thing I want to mention before we wrap this up. When you buy these units, make sure you get the plug with them. Now this actually has sort of a rectangular plug. Now, which is interesting about this is that it doesn't fit the normal 2 prongs. So if you've got the ones that are like this, which is sort of like this kind of a figure 8, and there is a difference here actually. If you put them up together and match the holes up, you can see that this square plug is actually, the holes are a little bit closer together. So just be careful and don't go forcing in one of these 8 plugs into it, because you'll find that the holes are slightly different. So yeah, the National FM30, that's going to be a wrap for this unit. Another one I can put on the shelf and proudly display it. So hopefully this video helped you out. Maybe if you need a replacement belt or replacement pinch roller, definitely get those replacements. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I'll see you on the next project.